Growing up outside of Presbyterianism, I didn't know the significance of the liturgical calendar growing up. I had studied it while I was in seminary, but I'd never really experienced it on a yearly basis with the congregation. And when I first got here to Tab, it took me a while just to get used to it. It felt very repetitive. It was not very novel. I knew that sometime in the spring we would be looking at Lent. In the fall, we would start looking at Advent, of course, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And all of a sudden, next year, we'd be doing the exact same thing, same focus, and all of that. And it was different, particularly because I'd come from a church background that valued the novel over the traditional. And so church for me, for many years, was about kind of getting hyped up, or my spiritual fix, you might say. And the more bells and whistles, the better. And so for me, worship that was vibrant, alive, and perhaps what I would even say holy back then was worship that was fast and that got my attention immediately. But over time, I came to see that the liturgical calendar, the liturgical year, which was deeply shaped by tradition. It had the familiar songs every season, the familiar prayers, the same themes for the sermons. It was doing something internally that I could only describe as recalibrating my soul and also my idea of what church was meant to offer me. Church, for many years, like I said, had been kind of a whirlwind. Get in, get out, get pumped up, and just be ready to tackle the day or the week or the month or whatever it was. But the liturgical calendar really invites you to slow down and to know that life is more than just the quick things or the quick fixes, but that you're part of a larger story. And that's what I love about the liturgical calendar. It tells me that my life and the circumstances I go through, the works that I do on a given day and a given year, they're all part of this grand narrative that God is shaping out of redemption and salvation. And every year we get to live this over and over again. 10, 12-year-old me would have thought to myself, what spiritual significance or fun thing is that about that? It's slow, it's methodical, it's traditional. But age, I think, but also just time, helps you to appreciate that not everything has to be fast, but you can really slow down. And the truth is, spiritual life is slow. I have always been one of those that has wanted to be an amazing person of prayer, an amazing teacher. I mean, anything you could think of. I've always wanted to be the best of the best. And I would get frustrated if I don't accomplish it within a week, or sometimes by the end of the afternoon, or after I read that amazing book. I somehow now am a professional and a specialist in that field. But spiritual life takes time, and it's long, and it's full of ups and downs, very much like our liturgical calendar. Lent is a time of reflection. We take a look at not only our sinfulness, but our mortality. And then Advent is a season of waiting, of just being expectant that something new is going to happen. And that's where I want to end this thought for today. Even though spiritual life is slow, and even though it takes time, we're all in this process of redemption and salvation. The one thing that I know is that the end of the story ends good. And I know that everything, even in this room and in my life and in your life, will one day be brought to a completion, but also redeemed. And that's one of the things I love about our liturgical calendar. It really helps you to realize that time, however we experience it, is redeemed. It has a final place. And we don't need to be hurrying through it. And especially a church, I would say. So as you worship, especially, you might think to yourself, oh, we've sang this song many times before, same prayers, same everything. And there's a comfort in that. But just realize we're all being wrapped up in this drama of redemption and salvation. So look forward to worshiping with you soon, and God bless.